Welcome to Jersey Matters. I'm Larry Mendte. We come to you this week from Jersey City. We're in the council chambers right now. In a moment, we'll go across the hall to talk to the mayor of Jersey City, Steven Fulop, about the controversial Airbnb initiative that's going to be on the ballot November 5th, and flying cars coming to Jersey City. Exclusive information coming up. Also on this week's show, we talk to the parents of the young boy who inspired New Jersey's medical marijuana legislation. And Denzel Washington was in New Jersey, and we caught up with him. But first, our interview with Mayor of Jersey City, Steven Fulop. Thank you so much for doing this again. I know I do want to get into the Airbnb vote that's coming up. But when I was doing research, one thing jumped out at me that I want to talk about first, and that is the flying cars.
Yeah.
When are the flying cars coming?
Okay, so I'll talk about it, even though I'm probably not supposed to talk about it, but we'll kind of give you kind of the background on where this is. So there was an RFP process that was a kind of a national RFP process done by this company, Kitty Hawk. Jersey City and the state of New Jersey both participated in it. Their interest is Jersey City and using two properties on the waterfront where they'd be flying the cars back and forth from, which is, flying cars over the water. And they'd be selling trips, as I understand it, just kind of to test out, because the regular person can do this. And right now, it's kind of held up a little bit in the permitting in the state of New Jersey at the DEP. And we have some concerns as well, not around safety, around the specific properties, but the hope is that it, comes to fruition within the next couple months. I mean, it's a good thing for Jersey City.
Wow, I fully expected you to say, yeah, it's going to happen in 2040, because every time you see an article like that, the last line is it's 2040.
No. It's in permitting, and these cars exist, and they should be in the next couple months flying all up and down the Jersey City shoreline.
Up and down the Jersey City shoreline, so they're not going over to New York. They're not flying cross over.
Not yet. Where we are right now, or the goal of the company is to, as I understand it in the conversations that I've had, is to kind of do a little bit more experimentation and learn a little bit more about it and get people a little bit more comfortable. I would assume that their long-term plan is to have people kind of traveling back and forth. They're not there yet. I mean, we're going to be the first ones, hopefully, where there's kind of a test piloting system where anybody could kind of get in one of these flying vehicles and give it a ride.
This is the first in the country in Jersey City?
Yeah, this will be the first.
How did that happen?
This will be the first in the country, if not the world. I think that, so the company that's doing this is a company that's funded by Google, and it was an RFP process, and they chose us.
Did you pitched it?
It was in conjunction with the state of New Jersey. So the state of New Jersey, in fairness, I believe, was the initial ones to respond, and then they looked for partners, and they asked Jersey City if they want to respond, and we said yes, we want to be part of it, and then we went through a couple conversations with the company and talked a little bit about Jersey City and different locations, and that's where we are. And I've given you entirely too much information around this, by the way, but I'm definitely going to get in trouble for it, but it's fine.
Well, we really appreciate that, and I spent more time on it than I expected to, but it's fascinating. Yeah. Okay, let's talk about the Airbnb initiative. You want people to vote yes.
Well, this is another national issue. It's the first time that the vote on short-term rentals or Airbnb is going to go to the public anywhere in the country. So a lot of cities have regulated Airbnbs. New York City, San Francisco, Washington, D.C. did it a couple months ago. Boston did it a couple months ago. Those were all done by the mayors and the city council, and Airbnb would fight it in court. They'd have some disagreements, but New Jersey has the ability for anybody, any citizen, to get any ordinance as a referendum on a ballot with enough signatures. And it's called a petition and referendum, and Airbnb exercised that right here to get enough signatures and put it to the public. So it's a big test for the Airbnb business model and narrative. I mean, they went all in on saying that the public loves Airbnb, and our view is that the public does love Airbnb, but they also want them to have some reasonable rules.
But you're saying people should vote yes on the initiative. A short time ago, you were all for Airbnb. You said you can't.
I still love it. But okay, so very clear. I still love Airbnb. I still think it has a very important role to play. When we agreed to do this in 2015-16, there were about 350 Airbnb rentals in the city, and most of them were shared occupancy. So it's somebody has an extra bedroom in their house, somebody has an extra apartment in a three condo building, and they would share that, so to speak, home sharing, and supplement their income. That's changed where it's gone from about 300, 350 per night to about 3,500 per night. So it's growing exponentially, and it's no longer the person just sharing their home. It's now a business buying 10 homes on a block and turning them all into Airbnb. So what we're doing is just putting rules around it.
Some people might say so. I mean,
well,
why
okay.
not?
Well, why not is because supply and demand, and when there's less supply and increase in demand, it creates more pressure on increased rent prices and increased housing prices because there's less supply. So you see that across the country. So the rules that were put in place are really threefold, and they're pretty reasonable. The first is that you have to be owner occupied. So you have to live in the building, and you could rent the other buildings, the other apartments in your building, reasonable. The second is a restriction around a renter renting out on Airbnb their spot, because we've seen companies come out and rent dozens upon dozens just to put them on short-term rentals. And then the third is a restriction if you're not going to live there or be on the premise, you have a limit of 60 days. So for an example, a teacher who finishes the school year and wants to go to the Jersey Shore for the summer can still use Airbnb. So I think we're really reasonable, and Airbnb is taking it to the limit. So we'll see what happens on November 5th.
The people who seem to be against the initiative are claiming that you have been influenced by lobbyists with the hotel industry.
That's their claim. Let me say that the hotel industry and my view are aligned in the sense that we both view that Airbnb should have regulations. We have entirely different reasons why. They obviously want it because it increases hotel prices for them or increases jobs for their membership. I mean, I can't get into the weeds on why they're interested in it, but I know Airbnb has an impact on them. Why I care about it is that it has an impact of quality of life and safety in neighborhoods, and increases rent prices and decreases affordable housing for residents. So we have entirely different reasons why we care about it, but at the end of the day, we both do care about it. So people could say that I'm aligned with the Hotel Trade Council because I'm looking to put rules and regulations. That's an accurate statement. We have different reasons why, but we're both there.
Did you have the same safety concerns in 2015?
No, because it was 300 units and most of it was owner occupied at that point. When it's become 3,500, it's 10 times as much.
What are you worried about exactly? What is the safety concern?
Well, the safety concern, here's a good example. About a year ago, we had a shooting in an Airbnb. Not to say that, I mean, that's the most extreme case, but I think people could understand why and how. You could rent a house for $100 and have a party. There's no owner, there's nobody there managing it. They don't know where the garbage collection is the next day. They throw their trash out on the street hoping that the garbage trucks come in, so it impacts quality of life. You have noise issues that impact the neighborhood because there's constantly tourists and strangers.
And that's all because of the short rentals. That wouldn't have happened otherwise.
100% it would not happen otherwise. Absolutely not. Those are all byproducts of short-term rentals having different people in every single day. No question about it. And so some sensible rules will allow people to supplement their income using Airbnb, and at the same time will reduce issues around quality of life.
I want to talk to you about the good news about the crime rate in Jersey City, and a few things I want to bring back up that we talked about the last time we had a conversation, when we continue our conversation with Steven Fulop, Mayor of Jersey City.